I see many people view our videos, and some of you give us some likes, and some of you as well, you give us some comments. And a number of times, it is based on those comments that we try to figure out on how we can have our next guest. Few of you have taken time to subscribe. When you subscribe to our channel, that is one way you support us. That's one way you become part of our family. And our commitment to you will be that we'll try in our capacity to be bringing you many hosts, many conversations as a way of a payback. Today in our studio, we are so blessed to be hosting a young lady, a Ugandan lady. Well, I'm pretty sure she'll be talking about the Ugandan food, of course, the matoke. Let's welcome one of my best friend, Sylvia Basemera. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Caleb.
Beyond the smile we are seeing, beyond the titles, beyond, because I'm pretty sure if we are to speak about titles, I think someone would need a big bag to collect them.
Not really.
Who is
Just a humble guy.
Basemera Sylvia?
Basemera Sylvia is a passionate young woman who loves to read, who is an introvert, while some may think that she's an extrovert. I love space. I love nature. I love to travel. I am passionate about tourism and hospitality. But most of all, I love the Lord.
If you got an opportunity to speak to your young self, basing on how life has been, basing on the girl who knew the Lord, basing on the experiences, if you had an opportunity to just have a good conversation with young Basemera, what would that conversation be about?
Gosh, that conversation would have told her, leave a little. Like, let loose and leave.
Just live.
Go spread your wings. Go into be exactly who you are inside, wild and, taking risks. Go take the risk. The world is huge. It's your palette to paint. So go and live. Don't limit yourself to this little world that you had shut yourself up in. There is so much out there, including Caleb.
Do you think that sometimes as we live, we tend to get buried in the small things and we just forget to live? And
it's not getting buried in the small things. We are getting buried in what society has defined our lives to be, what society is saying, the news that is going around on the media and all. And we don't get to realize that actually bad news sells more than
the good news.
As we look at social media and we want to define our lives, we want to mark our achievements or where we have reached in life by virtue of what we are seeing
on social media.
And yet the life outside of social media, now that's real.
That's real life.
The life behind the door, that is real life.
Someone did mention the other day that we are living in a generation that is driven by social media validation. When I look at you, do you at some point, anyway, I'm here to ask, that young Sylvia, that young Basemera, did she get an opportunity to enjoy the internet? Because the question is going to be,
how old am I?
Well, someone said never ask a woman their age.
Yeah.
But the question was, do you think that young Sylvia is lucky not to have experienced, I probably like calling it an information overload, where the bad information, in fact, like you said, surpasses the good information? Do you think she's lucky to have not had an opportunity to fully engage?
That. I am a millennial.
Oh, okay.
So that means that I lived between the transition of internet is coming in. All right, I had a bit of a taste of the life without internet. And then internet comes in while I'm becoming a teenager, round about that and into early adulthood. So I wouldn't say that I missed out. I was right there at the beginning while it's coming in. So I've lived through the transition to where it is right now. Do I regret that? No. Because in other words, I had a taste of what was a little bit before, and now I have a taste of what is now. And I appreciate both of them. So I have a balanced view for both of them. I'm not against social media in any way whatsoever. I'm very grateful for the convenience that it brings. But I also have a memory of what it was without the information overload. So I'm able to grab myself when I get lost and tell myself, hey,
okay,
this is how we used to do it. So get the balance of it.
Basemera, to define a woman a number of times society has defined it that a woman is what she is by how she was raised. How is it like to raise a girl child, especially in this era?
Ooh, raising a girl child in this era. It's very important in life generally to understand the seasons and the times. Like you said earlier, you'll find a millennial and they're continually complaining about Gen Z. It's the inability to accept change, to accept this season and this time and this generation of children that we are raising. Because when you're able to understand this is the generation they've been born into. It's not a crime for them. Don't make it seem like a crime, because you have a very hard time raising a girl when you think their generation is a crime. But being able to bring the principles, because the Bible says, do not forget the ancient paths. Look for the ancient paths. Don't forget the principles or the beauty that you had before the internet overload, and bring it and be able to blend it into what it is here. Because you see, the internet is going nowhere. Tech is going nowhere.
It has come to stay.
It has come to stay. So I, as a millennial, I need to be able to adjust. I need to be able to prosper and to thrive and be able to raise my girl in this generation while never forgetting the principles and the beauty of what I grew up in. Because you see, that's how we preserve heritage and culture. Because that's our fight, even in tourism, the industry, is to preserve the heritage and culture, so that they have a sense of identity. Because now that's what is becoming difficult, raising a girl child right now. The sense of identity, that it's okay to be unique. It's okay to be decent. It's okay to be a woman at home. It's okay to be a wife. Those are things that the principles that slowly died down. So now we are fighting to bring back that culture and to explain it in this generation. At the same time, tell you it is okay to be born in this generation, because you are the generation that is preserving our culture in terms of information security. Because you see, the reason why most of the culture has been lost is because we didn't have the tech that we have right now. I mean, remember, we used to put our photos in what? Our memories in photo album. With time, moisture and all. But now we have the internet to be able to preserve it in a cloud. You understand? So it's just that balance. And what is difficult right now to raise a girl child is originality, I think.
Tell me more about it.
Being very authentic. Being able to realize that, this thing that they used to ask us, do you love all your children the same? You can't possibly have loved all your children the same. The firstborn was born when you were starting out. You probably didn't have the money that you have on the lastborn. You understand? You guys are growing as parents, and you're having children along those stages. So there's no way you're relating to those children the same way, because even you were changing in that stage. So you couldn't have loved them the same way.
Resources are actually different.
Resources are very different. I mean, there's a child that might be born when you're resigning or you've lost a job. Then now you need to cut down. Then there are those you gave birth to when you were thriving, and you are able, let's say, to give them an education in an international school.
But I would probably think, yes, we got our first child when we are still struggling. Let me borrow that. And we are still trying to understand.
They are your experiment.
What it is like to be parents. But along the way, as resources come, as you learn how to be a good mother, you learn how to be a good father. Still, it doesn't take away the idea on how you can love your children equally. Ask me how. When you happen to get the money on your second child, on your third child, now man has come. So why not distribute it equally in terms of how best you're going to, the schools, how you park
Caleb,
there?
Maybe we have reduced now raising the children based on the resources. But what we mean that you cannot love your children the same is by virtue of personality. All right?
Okay.
Every single human being on this earth is very different by virtue of fingerprint. They are unique.
Unique in their own
way. All right?
Yeah.
So you've got to understand this child is an introvert. They are not out there playing and all. They like to be in and read their book and do all that. While there's an extrovert, there's one who loves to be touched. There's one who really is very confident in just being on their own. You understand what I am saying?
I do, yeah.
Yeah? So it's your love is is solid and it's singular, but the expression of it is different across the different people that you meet.
I get
and
you.
the children, you understand?
I
That's
get
why
you.
you cannot love them. It will be a danger to love them the same, because then you would not have accepted their unique personality.
Uniqueness, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. When you talk about it like that, I strongly agree. I
Yeah.
think that's the conversation we were having the other day about equality and equity. Yeah, one is giving what the person actually wants, and the other is just getting what is equal for everyone. Like everyone is thirsty, you're giving them a bottle of Renzori. But who tells you I need a bottle of Renzori?
Yes.
My thirst could be quenched by something different. When we speak about raising children,
Yes.
there's a question that keeps coming. You are a mother,
Yes.
and you are having, let's say, a girl that is now in their reproductive age.
Yes.
What is that time of their age that you're supposed to speak about sexuality? What is that age that you are somehow, somewhere okay when you are checking their backpack and you found a pair of protective
Yes.
gear?
Yes.
You understand what we're talking
Yes.
about?
Yes, I do.
What is your take? What is the time that you are slightly comfortable? You're raising a girl child. The other is you don't want to see unplanned pregnancy and early pregnancy, but they are teenagers. What's that point that, as a mother who's raised girl children, what is that point where you're supposed to have this conversation?
I'll answer and say there is no point where you're going to have that conversation. That conversation is varying, of course, with every generation, but that conversation is based on relationship that you're building from when a child is young. Keeping the doors open and being, I always get back to the thing of know the seasons and the times, especially for your child. All right? So while you're having that conversation is actually being had from the very beginning when they are children.
With their children.
I have a friend who's had a baby, and the baby is probably 2 or 3 months old, but does not enjoy her legs being opened and cleaned.
Oh.
You understand?
Okay.
They're already sensitive. They're already aware at that point in time. So that conversation is not you and I sitting down. That conversation sometimes is in the actions. And sometimes that conversation is by virtue of example right from the beginning. Because you will sit down and talk, but you see it's an information age. Children dig. Children watch.
They watch.
They will dig, they will ask questions, they'll find out about your past. So that conversation sometimes is even had as early as 6 years. I've had nieces who have come back, because remember, they are going to school. All right? So if you've raised them in a closed environment, homeschooling, you might have the liberty to have that conversation at 10 years. But that conversation has begun as early as 6 years now. Because they are going to school, they're finding children who've been raised by maids on TV, they've seen things, all right? And they are able to actually understand those things. You understand what I'm saying?
Understand.
So what I am trying to say is that conversation will hit you at any point in time. It's just that the grade of information you're giving out is varying with the age. But please be able to answer those questions with as much honesty while not being so raw. Let's say to a 6-year-old, they've asked you, how do you have children?
Yeah, that's the
Don't
question.
lie.
Yeah.
Don't be outright. Don't lie.
We buy you from the shop.
Don't.
Yeah.
Bring the conversation little by little. Daddy and I play a game, and we
got you.
We got you. All right? Or we spoke you, because now that's spiritual. Having a child is also spiritual. You understand the same way the birth of Jesus was prophesied. So you say, we thought about you, we planned for you. So you began to grow in mommy's womb. Then, when they get to 10 and that, then you begin. Because, the screens are there. You're going to give them phones either way.
There was a video that was circulating on social media the other day on how dad and the son, they had a conversation. And the child was so curious, asking the father, where did I come from? And of course, the father had to figure out on how to tell the child where the child came from, but not in the right way. I think the father might have mentioned, we went to the supermarket. As we were coming back, we came back with you. So now this child starts to go to school. Now, somewhere, the child gets to know on how parents bear children. And then he came back furious. And in his words, he says, Dad, I've lost trust in you. How would you lie to me? How do you tell me that you went to the supermarket and you got me? Our teacher told us otherwise? Well, when you say that, be honest with them, but you must know when to unleash. And you always have to pray to God to get the wisdom.
But you see that guy who said the supermarket, because you see, also at the same time, remember, you must introduce the spirituality and God issue right from the very beginning. Because if I was him then, I would have been like, we went to the supermarket, to God's supermarket.
God's supermarket.
And he gifted us you. You understand? You're introducing the aspect of God. You're introducing the aspect of the fact that they are gift. You're introducing the fact that human life is not necessarily now the embryo that is developing. There is a spirit that God brought with purpose, as to their life, knowing the end from the beginning. So you're introducing that aspect as well quickly into the reproduction part, so that now in the end, when they become teenagers, they are able to value what God's view is when it comes to reproduction. If I was a gift from God.
I am actually fascinated by how you are able to deal with this, because these are matters. But again, I would like to hear your perspective, because I am a rural guy. I keep telling my guys that I am a rural guy. And when you come from a place where I come from, I don't want to use the word ignorance, but people are illiterate. And first of all, some people out there, they don't know how to package information. When you are a curious learner, like I am, and you go to a rural parent and try to find out with such questions, that's when you're likely to get some beatings that you remember for the rest of your life. That's when they start to question whether you're trying to watch things. Maybe you are into bad company. You as, I don't want to say an expert, but at least as an informed, because you're coming from an angle, I want to say an urban parent. I work in a health setting where I've seen some children have got an opportunity to have parents parents who have good insight about things. And you'll literally look at a parent, have a conversation with their son, with their daughter, to matters that are sensitive, but they have a way they package it. Now, that parent is slightly different from a rural parent. A traditional one who is going to respond with some good beatings, or parents who are going to ignore. A number of times, it doesn't even stop there. They may even ignore the child's feelings, because when you don't respond to them, you're hurting them. You don't know what you're creating inside them. What do you have to say about such parents, or any words of wisdom that you can tell them and how they can package, whatever you have to say?
You see, the other day we were in fellowship. And the good rabbi said that parenthood is an office.
An office.
Being a man, being a woman, being a father, being a mother, being a wife, being a husband, it's an office. Like how the Bible says, to some he gave apostles, to some prophets, to some pastors. It's an office. Now, to a traditional parent, you can't blame them. You see, we parent the way we see we're parented, unless you're an intentional parent.
Underline intentional.
Intentional. You've got to be an intentional. Because you see, Caleb, yes, you are raised the traditional way. Then you realize the errors about how you were raised. You understand? So you determine in your heart that you will parent differently. And that's where mentorship comes in. All right? That you find a couple that is parenting the way you would like to be parented. And you attach yourself, what we call submission, you submit yourself to those people, or you hang around them so that you see what it is they are doing differently in raising their children. Because you've acknowledged that I came from a traditional parenting system. It is not working. But I would like to parent my children better. There are people who are not intentional. There are people who don't care.
They don't care
about parenthood. It's not important to them. It's go make money, pay school fees. Go to school, get out of school. You understand? They are not interested in what you're feeling like when you ask that question and they beat you up. No. Yet they didn't know any better. They didn't know any better. So it is that. It's the call for parents to know that parenting children is actually a calling. It is a purpose. It's a worthwhile and very rewarding purpose, because you're going to grow old and those very children are the ones that you are beating. Either you're distancing them so that, when you get to a vulnerable stage, then you begin to complain why they are not available to care for you and that kind of thing. Unlike where you're intentional about your children, and then that bond is built and they can never ignore you in your old age. So it's that called traditional parents, and also it's personality, that learning never comes to one end. That's why you shouldn't be shunning away their Gen Zs, they don't know what they are doing. No. You learn from them so that you're able to parent them. So it's the ability to continually evolve as a parent as well and realize, these are their times. How can I do better? Then you find mentors, because there are people out there doing parenting seminars. You find mentors, ask questions. There are people who have gone ahead of you and raised children, and you've liked the way their children have come out. So you go and you ask, you learn. Don't ever imagine that you know it all.
Recently, we are seeing many women coming on board, and they are doing what you're talking about. We've seen, is it the Mulondos? And I've seen she has quite a number of women. They're trying to teach about parenting. Well, if you had an opportunity and God has blessed you with children, would you like to raise them a traditional way or the modern way?
I would like to raise them God's way.
God's way. I like that.
And it's not a cliche. It's not a cliche, because you see, also parenting children is based on how your relationship with God.
With God. It starts with God.
Unfortunately, I'll end up going back to God.
Sure.
Because that's the essence of it. You see, children are a gift, you are custodian. All right? The Lord set out, designed this life, knows it from its end from the beginning. So it is me to carry my child, to carry this child, the way, Hannah carried Samuel, or the way Rebecca carried Jacob and Esau. All right? And to tell the Lord, these are the children that you have given me. What is their purpose? That when I reach a point and I don't know what to do with this child or how to communicate whatever I need to communicate, that takes me back to my knees. You understand? I'd like to parent God's way. I don't have a traditional or modern way, because it's still the Lord who will enable me to understand the seasons and the times. How do I help my child achieve their purpose, their unique purpose? Because there's living your life through a child. The dreams you are not able to achieve, you want to achieve them. You wanted to be a doctor, now you want the child to be a doctor. No. So I want to raise my children God's way.
When you speak about the God's way, there's something that clicks. We have something we call dependency and independency.
Good.
There comes a question. Do you think, or when you look at families now in this modern era, do you think families are raising their children to be independent, or they're raising them to be dependent? And if yes, what is your take?
This is my take. All right? And still I'll go back to God. God has never created us to be independent.
Oh, I would like to hear more about it.
He has never done so. Now let me show you how independence was disastrous from the very beginning. He's always created us to be dependent on him, in others to acknowledge the Creator as the created. You acknowledge the Creator, you're dependent on him, because you see, he's the manufacturer of this product. So he has the manual of how this product should run.
Sure.
All right? So in order for you to function well, you need to, the manufacturer.
The manufacturer has to be by your side.
Is very key. That's the dependence. We are dependent. Independent Christians are very deadly Christians. Let me show you. Right from the Garden of Eden. All right? It was the issue of dependence. Or rather, we'll get to that point of the role of a man and a woman, the fact that the man is a covering. All right? This instruction is given by the Lord about what tree to eat, what tree not to eat. Guess where the devil comes in? When the woman is alone. Adam is not around. The covering is not around. The decision that needs to be made by the head of the home, he's not around. That's what the enemy comes in and takes advantage. So you make an independent decision. You question God's instruction to you. Yet if Adam had been around, he would have been like, wait.
What
God said, we do not touch, not do this. Maybe that decision would have changed our lives completely, but we don't mind that, because gosh, would not have known the Son of God, the Lamb of God that was slain before the foundation of the world. So that's the thing. God created us as dependent beings, no matter what. You need that man. You need everybody in your life. You need them. You can never live on an island. You notice that always people commit suicide when they separate themselves, they isolate themselves. The devil enjoys isolation. Because then he can throw whatever thought into your head, and then there is no help. You've cut off all communication. You think, I am alone. The moment you begin to entertain such things. So that's why it's important to be dependent.
How about when we look at it in this perspective, where we are saying that I don't know more about the Bible like you do, and I want to say you're close to God. When you look at the boy child,
yes,
the way the boy child has been defined, like you say, they are defined to be leaders.
Yes.
They are defined to be carriers of responsibility. And society has branded them as men who don't break.
Okay.
Men who you have to be a provider.
Yes.
And everything has to rotate around you.
Yes.
They are, I want to borrow the word that they are raised to be independent. Perception.
Yes.
Like as a man, you have to figure out things, per se, like you said.
Yes.
And society still defines women as what we hear.
Yes.
As women are supposed to be independent. In which way? Not independent, dependent.
Yes.
In which way? That when they are growing up, one day they're going to leave their father's home.
Yes.
Now, they're not leaving their father's home to go set up a house of themselves. They're going to stay with this young man. So when they stay with this young man, there's a person who is making the decision. I want to call them the small god.
Yes.
Now, do you think that as children who are girls are being raised, they are raised in the way that they are, can I use the word submissive? Or they are raised to in the manner that they are going to bend low, bow down. They can't make a decision without this guy. Or, in your observation, do you think they are, because even recently, we are having so many groups that are coming on board. Women emancipation,
Yes.
they are empowered, the feminism thing is in play. They're empowering women. They are saying that what a man does, a woman does better. You get. So what is your take? When we look at it in this perspective, in this angle, are girls still being raised to fragile because there's a guy after all? They don't even care about the grades because there's a guy working for them?
No. I'll still go back to God's way. That's why I told you I want to raise children God's way. First of all, I am not a feminist.
Oh. Should we clap for that? Oh.
I am not. You see, the enemy is very subtle. He will never come and say, hi, I'm the devil. Do exactly what I said. No. He will bring notions into our minds, ideas, name them things, create a good mix. He always drops a little deception, a lie into a truth, twist the truth. That's his art, to twist the truth. But you see, we still need to go back to what was God's purpose when he created a man and a woman. That's what I was telling you, that there is an office of a man and an office of a woman. All right? A woman cannot be a man. A man cannot be a woman. Your being born a man falls exactly into all God's purpose for your life. Everything that you will ever be. Being born Ugandan, being born a man, being born Caleb, all of that measures into your purpose. But let me go back to the bit that you're talking about. God created you a protector, a head, while the woman was created a nurturer. All right? Let us separate. Being a nurturer doesn't make me fragile per se. No. It is being able to stand in my office as a woman and recognize that this man here, because you've got to understand the office of the man and realize I cannot do what a man does because he's been called in this office. It's like a pilot saying, I can do what a doctor does. Maybe let me bring it down to that.
Sure.
All right?
For that, I will understand.
Appreciating. Society needs to get to a place where we appreciate the uniqueness and respect it and honor it, because that's the only way we thrive. The moment, because of course, originally, his original issue was making sure that he disorganizes this whole family issue, however that he can. So you bring in feminism, you bring in all of that. All right? Because people have not fully understood the office of a woman, the office of a man, of being the nurturer, of being the helper, You understand?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, that isn't grounds for violence or for no. Because now that's where the issue of love comes in. Love is kind, love is patient, and that kind. So the man realizes that this is my nurturer, this is my helper, this is her office. Okay?
Yeah.
So in being independent as a woman, which I said independence is not of God at all. It's rather that you have the dependence on each other. You understand? That's why I was telling you that dependence on each other. A man cannot be
Alone.
without a. That's why God, from that, we always go back. Why did he say, I do not want man to be alone?
They got
He
to
needs
read.
a woman.
Yeah, needs a woman.
So, well, I don't know what the podcast is about, but would you please get born again and get to know the Lord?
Sure.
Because then your life will be very easy.
Sure. Oh, wow. You've created a very good picture for us as far as that matter is concerned.
Yes.
But this is the last one. What do you think parents are doing wrong while they're raising their girl children?
What are they doing wrong? Well, it's parenting off what society says.
Basing on society.
Basing on what society is this and society is that and society is that. And unfortunately, still I have to get back to the God factor.
I know.
Please understand your girl. Please don't blame her for being born in this age, but find a way of bringing the very principles of God in this girl in this age. Because it's not an age where you beat. When they ask questions, answer them. Because now you see, for me, that's where I would rather take my child to an international school than a traditional one, or rather an open-minded school where they sort of grow the gift. They realize the uniqueness. You're able to see the uniqueness of a girl at that point. What's this girl made for? What is she called to? And still that place comes from the knees and praying. Where is my girl going? How would you want me to play my role as a parent to this girl? So the issue of raising a child is to blame them for being born in this generation, to insist that, this is how we're raised, so you should have done things. No.
Okay.
It's separating of what are the principles. What are the actual principles of raising a girl from the Bible? So those principles come from the point, what is the office of a woman? What are the stages a girl goes through to become a woman?
Yeah.
So you're able to parent the girl as a girl, the girl as a teenager, the girl, and people think that the Bible does not have those, but it actually does. Because you notice how, David is writing to Solomon, and my son this, my son that, avoid women like this, do this. When you actually look, you realize that the principles are right there in the Bible in raising your girls. So what would I say to how do you raise? Raise them God's way.
God's way.
But it only comes with having a personal relationship with the Lord.
With the Lord.
Because it's a difficult time, of course. So it may seem, when it's complicated, get on your knees.
Pray.
You'll find a way. Yes, you'll find a way of raising your girl because they're unique.
Sure.
Because right now, she might be called to be like Prophet Deborah to lead. But even in her leadership, an office of a woman, you will notice they are always nurturers. You notice our prime minister, there's always that nurturing thing. Because they are standing in the office of the woman, they are not denying that they are women. They are not trying to be men. But even while they are leading, while they're taking positions of leadership, of governance, in whatever sector they are in, whether engineering and all, they've not forgotten that this is the uniqueness of a man. When I'm doing this particular thing, I might need the strength of a man to help me do this. So you acknowledge the man and you acknowledge your office and you celebrate it. You're right? You don't fight it, you celebrate it. That way you'll be able to benefit from it.
Wow, that's so interesting. Sylvia, I want to quickly jump to something interesting, but still in the line of a girl child.
Yes.
I think very soon you have to be voted for any position. If there's any kind of possibility, you can be a very good advocate for a girl child. Well, Sylvia, we all know on how school prepares us to pass exams.
Yes.
A number of times, different schools you see, they focus on how do we get better grades. But when we finish school, reality hits. Life is quite different.
Yes.
What do you think awaits a girl child after graduation?
What awaits a girl child after graduation is reality. What other people will call reality. But what is awaiting is the fact that you've been fed this information, you've been told all these things. It's like coming from a theory and going to a practical. Kind of. So it's dependent on which schools you've gone to. That's why I was telling you that when I'm choosing a school for a child, I want a very open-minded
School.
school
That's why you would go for an international
that draws
school.
out the gift and the uniqueness. But you see, some of the most important lessons that need to be taught to children in school is to constantly confidence that you are able to be whatsoever you want to be in life, but you cannot be everything. It's to be honest with you, cannot be everything.
Yeah.
Is to be able to notice their gift and celebrate that gift and magnify that gift of that child while they are in school. You understand? Which doesn't, the Ugandan system is yet to get there. So when you magnify that gift, it sort of stays with them. So they are able to step out knowing who they are. I am good at the arts, and it is okay to be good at the arts, and to teach them to be able to also celebrate the uniqueness of other individuals. Just because you are the first, you are the top of the class, does not mean that
life is
you're going to make it in life.
You're going to make it in
so
life.
That's the reality that hits you when you leave school. You get to realize that, hey, the guys who are actually making it in life are not the ones who are on top of the class.
But when you speak like that, you remind me of a friend of mine who likes this statement. He keeps saying that the people who lead the country are not the A people.
Yes.
They are not. In fact, the people who lead the country are the C people. This is his explanation. He says that the brilliant minds, those who are the A people who are so good in class, they are down in basement trying to work for the C people.
Yes.
So when you bring it in the perspective that when you're good at grades here, it's not that you're going to be, because the C people have a way they know how to deal with life. And a number of times they even have the ability and capacity to employ or make the A students work for them.
Yes. Now you see, and that's the thing about mentorship that is very key after school, and also while children are leaving university. Mentorship is very critical for people to realize that, you see, success, education is not the basis of success in life. No. I would almost say, but that's a very long topic, that life is spiritual. It is who you are.
You as a person.
God designed it that if you stood in your purpose, all right, you're doing this as a podcast. If you stood in your purpose, that's where your wife will be. That's where your money will be. All these things that you desire to succeed and to be fulfilled in life, you will find them when you actually find your unique path and embrace your unique path and never let it go, no matter what anyone says to you. You notice that people are leading. When you read the story of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni,
the master,
they tell you, yes, they always tell you that he always knew that he would lead this country.
He felt it in his bones.
He felt it. And that witness is in every human being, believer or not. You always have a thing that makes you fulfilled, whether you're paid for it or not. That's where your prosperity and fulfillment are. So those people that are at the top, leave alone the spiritual part. Please, I beg you, don't believe the lie that hard work is what makes you successful. Otherwise, the guys who are constructing and carrying wheelbarrows around, hard work is not the life is spiritual.
Otherwise, there would be the most rich guys around.
Yes, it's not the hard work, it's not your grades. You need to know who you are, and you need to choose which side you're going to be on, light or darkness. Okay. Life is spiritual. Wealth is spiritual. Money must have purpose. All right? You see, those are the things that we need to tell people, to children while they are going out. You're going out to make money. Yes, the Bible says that money answers all things. It's the mode of transaction here and there, but it's not your grades and all. No. Know who you are, know your purpose, pursue your passion with everything in you, and be patient. Be patient.
Very important.
Know your seasons, know your time. Someone's season and time is not your, all those things. So mentorship is very key.
After school.
Someone to hold your hand when you leave, and to tell you, please hold on. Whether it's, 5 years, 7 years and all, don't. Pursue your passion. Your money is right, is right there. So what hits children after school is practical.
Practical. Well, interesting. I think the people who have not known you before have missed a great opportunity in life. Here is something I want. I want to relate to your life as Basemera.
Yes.
In my mind now, I am seeing a little girl who is about 18, not 18, on average, I think 23, 24, after campus. I'm asking myself a question. Did your expectations as a 23-year-old Basemera meet the reality that they were seeing after graduation?
No, it they totally did not. They totally really did not. But neither do I regret the experiences that I went through. All right. Of course, you see, just to stray a little, that's the purpose of stable. That's why the enemy fights stable families. The children who are raised in a stable family with the presence of a father who knows fatherhood very well and their role, they find their stepping as a girl. They find their, especially a girl who has a father that is present, find their sense of confidence and attack on the world is very different from someone who is from a broken home, dysfunctional family.
Yeah.
Father is not present. Your confidence in entering the corporate world where there is competition between women and men and that kind of thing is very different from the person who has grown up in a home with brothers and a father present and supportive and that kind of thing. So my 23 and 24-year-old was shocked. I mean, I left campus, I became a church administrator. When you're in church administration, you're very close to very many things. You're holding so many secrets, you see so many things that could shake your faith one way or the other, but then you get to realize that, men are men, and that's why they need God. And then, and how church runs and all these things, church politics and all these things.
Yeah.
And then I get into the bank, But look here, I did hotel management and catering. I am working in Standard Chartered Bank. Okay.
You are yet to tell us what you do.
Yes, I'm here to tell you what I do.
The dear viewers will tell us what you do. And
right now I am in tourism.
Yeah.
I have a company called the Kuku Master. I specialize in doing barbecues for different functions.
Okay.
I am passionate about hospitality and the tourism sector. But, and on that note is what I want to tell you, that everything that happens in your life is never a mistake.
Never a mistake.
It's never a mistake. God, you being born in Uganda, in whatever district, in whatever family, dysfunctional or functional, is never a mistake. My having worked in a bank, despite the fact that I did hotel,
Management,
and only 20 years later am I in the industry that I said, is not a mistake. Because you'll find lawyers who are running boutiques, and someone will think that, a parent might think that, their school fees was wasted.
Yeah, was wasted.
No. I have met a man of God who is an economist, who was trained in, I think studied in France, and now he's in full-time ministry.
Wow.
While doing crypto business. And that's where his economy, but in the process of doing that ministry, of the 10 years of ministry and all, the parent is seated looking and thinking,
did my
you are a
money
brilliant
go to
guy,
waste?
I wasted
my
No?
money.
But then now eventually he says, now he understands all the things, the schools he went to, why he went there, the economics he studied, and why he studied them there, all that. He understands them.
Basemera,
So,
I am looking at a girl, 24-year-old, 25-year-old, 26-year-old, and this girl has left school. Like you did mention, she's going into a pool swimming with the men. And recently the government brought the policy of the 1.5. There is a way that the government has been slightly soft, underline my word, slightly soft, that even when we are going to university as girls, we have that added point. If you have 18, I have 18, you have a higher advantage to get a scholarship, to get a course that you want. Of course, that 1.5 is more like an advantage to you because you're a girl, And even when it comes to positions outside, outside school, we've seen the government going a little bit slow because they're advocating for more women to come. But that's not the thing. I'm looking at the privatization of things, that you're coming into a competition of ideas where you're finding brilliant minds. No one is going to mind about your 1.5. No one is going to mind about your gender. All we want is results. What do you think? What do you think that women out there are facing? Especially, remember at that point after school, you're desperate. You're a woman. What do you think are the challenges that women, girls, that are facing after graduation?
Dear Lord.
You can use you as a perspective. I'm looking at Basi at 24. she's done. And
I'm getting you. I went to a single-sex school in addition to that.
oh,
So you're hitting the world. You've had very minimal, interaction with the other sex.
yeah,
Now it's in the workplace in addition to
they're
that.
all over.
And then it's a harsh world out there. Favors. You got to discover that the hard worker is not the one who is promoted. No, it's the one who gave favors. So at that point, that's why I say it came from theory to practical. You had to choose which path you are going to take. All right? Because, of course, as a girl child, you'll be told, kitu kidogo, just give the boss some, and then you'll be promoted.
By
or
some, you mean money? Or by
no. Sexual favors is what I am talking about. Okay? And then, you'll be told to a client, you need sales, you've been given a target, and some clients, in order to open an account in the bank, they want some sexual favors as well. So at that point, your life begins to get shaped up. Now you've become an adult. All the principles you've been taught, whether you are Muslim, Christian, or in your parents' life, whatever values you've been taught at that point in time, now they come into play. Okay? So you begin to choose a path at that point in time. Of, am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? That's why I'm saying it's important to know who you are. Those are the things they need to teach you. To know who you are.
In fact,
that you're valuable.
Yeah.
You're important. You don't need to give sexual favors in order to raise in life. You will make it in life. No matter the things you face in your life. Stick to your dream. You'll make it in life.
When you speak about that, the values, that takes me to a question I wanted. I was seated down there and I'm thinking, are girls really prepared for real life?
Well, that's why I say thank you. That's why you shouldn't be fighting this generation per se. That we are improving, we are getting better. We are getting better. We are understanding the mistakes that our parents might have made or older generations might have made. And we are also appreciating their values. Now that we've become adults, we are appreciating and understanding them the same way you now appreciate greens more than you appreciated them when you were young. And we are doing better. Are girls being prepared better? Yes, they are better than when we were younger, because people have begun to come out to talk about mental health and to talk about mentorship and, women conferences to encourage each other, to come together to do business. And so they are being prepared better. But of course, there are always still those statistics of those that are still, let's say, in rural areas, they're not exposed to this information and all. And yet, at the same time, I would say no. Because if I say that, are they being prepared better? If they're not being prepared in God's way, again, they're not being prepared better. If they are being shaped by virtue of what society has defined a woman to be, they're not being prepared better, because there's thinking that you're being prepared better, but you're actually being fed secularism. You're being fed anti-Christ kind of things in a very subtle manner. But it's extremely subtle, from cartoons, even the most innocent of things.
Yeah.
Very subtle manner.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, church has changed as well. Secularism has entered church of, don't be too much. This kind of thing. You need to, be pole-pole and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of things have been diluted. So that's the fight that we are in. But we are doing better. I'm thinking that we are really, really doing better. We are making sure to sensitize as much as possible. And that's the beauty of tech.